not caring, self-belief, and being intuitive. Yes, that is what we're going to focus on today. First of all, welcome to the Socially Inept Thoughts channel. My name is Clint, and this channel is designed to provide value to specifically younger men, but really anyone that can find value. I just want to help people with a different perspective. Maybe all these worries that you worry about at a younger age or at my age at 30, a lot of it you realize over time doesn't really matter that much. And I think it's just important to have a reasonable voice and sometimes some harsh truths in reality about your situation or what you think about things. So if you guys find value in this, please like, please subscribe, please engage, please comment. Every video we're gaining a little bit of a bigger audience, more subscribers, more views, more engagement. So I'm pretty proud of what I'm doing here, and I hope to build a strong community about it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get in today's video. Not caring. You know, it sounds terrible and it sounds toxic. It sounds like it's just another guy talking about why you don't need to give a fuck about what other people think about you. Not caring is really deeper than that. You have to actually go through certain things in life to where you put too much care into things that in real time you should have known better. And that's not that, oh, I got hurt, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. What it means is dividing your time, your attention into things that you are willing to be okay with whatever the result may come out of it. You should not be doing something to strictly hope to get X, Y, and Z out of it. It's about enjoying the process of what you're doing. And whether you're caring about a human being, whether you're caring about whatever you're trying to work towards, if you don't truly, genuinely love that person or love that thing, where you just enjoy being around that person or enjoy doing that thing and not really caring about what the result of whatever that interaction of that time period of your life is going to be, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And when you get to a point in your life where you only care about what you care about and you are comfortable with it, and more importantly, you are comfortable with the fact that you are going to be judged harshly. You are comfortable with the fact that you are going down a path in life that you're going to lose relationships over. You're going to have people very close to you in your life, whether that's a girl you're seeing at the time, whether that's your parents, whether that's friends, that they're going to look at you a certain way and be like, this guy's done for, you know? He's going to be, you know, serving me fries in 5 years. That type of mentality. There's always that fear of people project what they're afraid to do themselves. So they start finding ways to demean you. I'll give a personal example. And it's not, I'm not going to air out my personal business per se, but I think it's a great example of even when things are going right in your relationship with someone and it's very fresh, when there's nothing really someone can tear you down about, they will find ways to find a way to humble you. A lot of women have this real, I don't want to say obsession, but they have this heavy need to try to bring you down to earth when you are a well put together individual. They try to find ways to control you. They will find ways to control you subtly. Whether they do it on purpose directly is not really the point. A lot of it's instinctual. A lot of it is protection. A lot of it is security. When you go down certain paths in life, and they may start questioning your financial security in the future. It's a completely reasonable thing. You know, you shouldn't be with someone if you don't feel like they can do nothing for you in a certain extent. They start dictating the type of job you should have at a point period of time. They're so worried about just getting a job just to get a job. When they start trying to pressure you and make you feel like shit, to be pretty frank about it, for being at a certain place in life, when they want to start making you feel a certain way to tear you down a little bit, to kind of humble you. This obsession that we need to humble people we care about in our life. Now look, some people need to be fucking humbled, right? Some people get a little too over their skis, they lose touch with reality. But there's also people that they feel an obsession to humble people because they want to bring people back down to earth. You've got to not give a fuck and be willing to deal with the result of you may disappoint people, but you've got to stick by who you are, what you're about, what you believe in, and most importantly, your direction that you've been working towards. If someone doubts it and doesn't believe it, you got to accept that, you know what, they don't believe it, and that's okay. You don't have to get upset about it. But once someone starts doubting your financial potential, never take a job your partner or a family member has recommended to you. Always find your own. Here's what I mean by that. Look, it doesn't mean people don't mean well. And I'm not saying, man, if you've been homeless on the street and someone takes you into their home and then, hey man, I got this job, you start next week. I'm not saying completely always but if you're relatively in control of your life, you have some level of control of finance, you have some level of control of what you can do in a day or not, do not ever, and I mean ever, just take a recommendation because someone can get you a job, a friend of yours, a girlfriend, your parents, a family member, your brother, sister. Never, ever get a job that you were recommended just because you know somebody. Never do it. If you can avoid it at all costs, never do it. One, regardless if someone means well or not, there is a control aspect to it. It is always, no matter how well you do at that job. One, they probably have connections to the job to keep tabs on you if they're very insecure about certain things, because they obviously know someone, and so they could kind of reference, oh, hey, he's not doing X, Y, and Z, he's kind of this and that. Then they get to them, and then now you're having conversations about work, and work should be your sanctuary away from people. You know, I'm a believer, do not bring your work home with you if you don't need to. Like, to me, you and your partner should never really talk about work like that. Like, it kind of defeats the purpose. If you go to a standard job where you go somewhere, do X, Y, and Z for 8 to 10 hours, come home, that's what I mean. Obviously, if your job is a little bit more like it's your business, and it involves you doing stuff like, and it's, you know, it's what you do, that's a little bit different. But overall, never ever take a job recommendation, especially from your partner, from your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Never do it. Absolutely never do it. And they might feel a type of way because you are turning down an employment opportunity that in their mind they view to be better for you. But you understand what's actually better for you at that point in time. And any slight rejection, a lot of women cannot handle being told, I appreciate it, but I'm good. That's what happened with me recently. And it kind of caused some, like, I'm looking for a specific job for what I'm looking for that fits into my schedule, that doesn't take away from other things, because what that job will require, it takes away from the hours of the day that I need that time to be available. So I'm looking for something a little bit different. The point of that is it's a way of control. Are people trying to help you? Yes. But if you're in a position where you don't have to take any and everything, and a job doesn't align with a bigger picture of what you're trying to do, like a lot of women, they just fear. You don't have a job, they literally fear like everything in your world's gonna crash down. Because it's all about, for a lot of women, it's really about now. That's all they care about is now. All they care about is what you're doing now. Most women. And it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them, you know, it's kind of what social media is designed is, if you're not this right now, then you're just not in a position for X, Y, and Z. Not realizing that all those guys and all the people that they view in a certain light 5 years ago when they were in a certain position were in the same ones as your partner, or even worse, or completely different in life. But there's this obsession. Women will feel a need when they find out they can't control you. and they're used to being in relationships with men that they can control, it drives them fucking crazy. And when you tell people no in your life, when they think they're trying to be helpful, you know, a lot of people have this obsession with wanting to help people. And it's really it can sometimes be a selfish endeavor, because the whole point of it is I want to help people and be in control of people's life, improving. And when someone says I appreciate it, but I'm going to take matters in my own hands and improve my life, but I appreciate the sentiment. A lot of people, if they can't improve someone's life and always have that thing that if you strive and succeed at something, they always feel like they want to have a hand in that. But when you have such strong direction in who you are, that you don't really need all the extra help. You're pretty on track with what you're trying to do. It drives women fucking crazy. And they start crashing out. They start questioning everything about y'all's relationship and this, that, and the other. And as a guy, it's gonna sound bad, but you've got to not give a fuck. It doesn't mean you don't care about what they feel. It doesn't mean you don't care about their worries. But you cannot worry about someone or something at a period of time when you've got your own stuff to worry about. If you cannot worry about someone that's doubting you. That's the last thing you need to worry about. You don't need to be worried about someone at a period of time that's doubting you. You also got to realize a lot of people's doubts of you are a reflection on what they doubt about themselves. Lack of security for a lot of people, like, it will make them break down and cry. It will make them cry in their car. It will make them go home, feel like shit about themselves. It will make them resort to alcohol, drugs, and all that stuff. But when you're truly comfortable in who you are, you're comfortable in who you are. You know, to put it simply, you genuinely are you have such intention with everything you're doing. You actually feel saying no to things when a lot of people tell you you shouldn't be saying no to things actually gives you even more power. Meaning you are not at mercy of other people's opinions or other people's thoughts about what you should be doing. If anything, that built up confirmation, that confidence you built of stuff you've been working on for yourself for quite a while, your direction, your confidence in yourself, relying on your intuitive spirit and not denying it when something feels right and you are on that hard track direction, there is nothing, not anyone you care about, people you don't care about, not any big time influencer, not any people you come with in daily life. There is nothing they can say or do to sway you from that. There's absolutely nothing. You have such a strong conviction in who you are that it actually, have you ever had someone tell you, I'm coming to accepting I cannot change you. And there's a defeated aspect in their voice. There's a defeated aspect. Like, that's a good thing. In your mind, good. I don't need you to change anything about me. I never asked you to. I don't need you to. And it's like they have this idea of what you should be. But you already know who you are. And you know where that will lead to one day. But in relationships, to be honest with you, a lot of women, they want to be able to control their partner. They want to be able to dictate if they don't have job security. They want to be able to provide them security. And they will always, here's the thing, when they feel in hand in your job, why you have that job, why you get paid, they will always look at you in less of a light. They will. I don't care what they tell you. Anytime someone feels they are responsible for your success or your opportunity you got, there's always, and I mean always, a part of them that feels a control over you. Always. So never accept a job from a friend, a partner, anyone. It doesn't mean they don't mean well, but you gotta understand the bigger picture. go get your own. You need to be stubborn. Your conviction and direction and how you move is all you got as a man. You will be shamed. You will be torn down. You will be ridiculed by people you care about the most in your life. And you've got to not give a single fuck. And when that happens in real life application, that's when you become the man no one can change or fuck with. Now, fuck with is a little bit extreme. You're not John Bones Jones out here, alright? You know, of course, the one day, you know, I picked the one time a day to record where they leaf blow in here, but it's cool. I felt like a gym-fluencer that's complaining about someone, you know, getting in front of their camera. It's like, you know, they're actually doing their job. I'm here taking space from their job. But yeah, you need to be stubborn in who you are as a man. This isn't some red pill shit. This is real life application. If you're not stubborn, if you don't have conviction, direction you move, you literally have nothing at all. Because if you're not stubborn and you don't have conviction, you can be easily swayed and convinced of anything. You're going to enter relationships and you're going to fall into stuff they like to do. And you're never going to actually do things you enjoy. Because it's important to incorporate yourself in people's lives and for them to incorporate themselves in yours. It's also, you got to be able to be like, hey, you know what? I enjoy my stuff too. And saying no is not the worst thing in the world. Because once you set the tone from the beginning that you're willing to do stuff you don't enjoy, once you step back from that, they're going to feel like you're being phony. Now they're going to feel like you're inconsistent. They're going to find everything wrong with you. People are designed to find everything that's wrong with you. And guess what? You look hard enough anywhere, you're going to find what's wrong with people. You're going to find what's wrong with this. You're going to be pessimistic about this. But one thing, no matter what pessimism, negativity, no matter what people say about you, even people that you've been vulnerable with, and they may start using some stuff against you, all you can do is have the conviction who you are as a man. And never apologize for what you truly believe in and how you want to move in life. Because I'm going to be very frank with you, in the modern dating world, a lot of women want to be able to control their man. They may not say it. You tell a woman no enough, I promise you, all the shit that she was not upset, that she told you that she didn't care about at the beginning, it will change real quick when you start saying no to things. It really is. But it's really because of how society has changed. A lot of men have allowed that. A lot of men have made themselves to where, well, if this is what they want and I do X, Y, and Z, then that's all that matters. So they resort themselves to just being a guy that goes to work and gets a check and telling their bitch to shut the fuck up. And that's a pretty harsh way of putting it, but that's how a lot of guys think. If I just go to work, pay the bills, she should just shut the fuck up and make me a sandwich. She should just shut the fuck up. Take care of the kids. Shut the fuck up. But see, that is what a lot of men have been dwindled down and designed and reduced to. Because they've had no conviction of themselves. They have let their partner, they have let society dictate what their value is. They've never actually intuitively looked deep down in who they are and asked, who am I? What do I actually care about? What matters to me? But you need to be stubborn. You need to be able, when everyone tells you, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, you gotta be like, no, I don't need to do that. I actually don't. No one can make me do anything I don't want to fucking do. The day that as a man you come to that acceptance of yourself, that I am not doing shit I don't want to fucking do, and you're in a position to do that, I'm not saying if you have real responsibilities, if you've made a decision to be a husband, to be, a father, and you've done that in your life, the rules are a little bit different. This is for younger men, people that don't have those necessary responsibilities at that point in life. You don't have to do shit you don't want to do. And pressure from social media, pressure from a lot, I'll just say this, a lot of people, the reason why stubbornness is important, because if you can easily be convinced by your friend of who your partner is, then you don't really trust your partner. That's why a lot of people cheat. Really why a lot of women cheat? Look, here's all you have to do. And I'm not going to make this a pro-cheating podcast or a show. But a lot of uncomfortable truths is the reason why a lot of women cheat is they don't know who their partner is and what they stand for. So they seek attention. And all it takes is a guy to make them feel any type of conviction about what a life with that person would be like. She wouldn't have to worry about X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other. He would bring clarity to my life. And a lot of women cheat because the guy they're with doesn't really have a strong conviction in who he is. He doesn't. That's an uncomfortable truth a lot of guys don't want to accept. And she is not sure about who he is, which is even worse. So, the more and more someone's talking to her, the more and more she's feeling more comfortable around that person. You're basically out of the picture at that point, bud. You can go to any local sports bar and grill. A girl could be out with her friends, a girl could be by herself, whatever. She could have a boyfriend. It doesn't matter in today's age. And that's not me being pessimistic. But if she feels like he cares about her whereabouts more than he cares about what he's doing in his life and how he's bettering it and his pursuit of who he is as a man, she will cheat on you. And guess what? You could have all that direction. She might still do it. So you might as well focus on what you can control. The main thing is, as a guy, you gotta control what you can control. And genuinely not care about the outcome if she wants to be with you anymore. Not care about what her friends may think, what her family may think. Because they're focused on if you have a $17 an hour temp job, like that's going to provide anything for you anyways. But they would rather you waste away because it's easier to tell, hey, yeah, he has a job. It's cool. He has a job right now. That's a lot more acceptable to close friends and family than, because they will feel an embarrassment. They will. It doesn't matter how much money you actually have. It's weird. You got $10,000 in saving and be just kind of chilling for a little while. And then you could be a guy in crazy amount of debt, irresponsible with money. You could be one of these guys that, like, it is crazy to me. Guys who are married and stuff, and their wife puts them on an allowance. Like, how bad are you with fucking money, bro? Like, I'll just say this, and it's going to sound pretty, no woman is putting me on an allowance of my own money. Just not happening. It's just not happening, alright? But there are guys who can be irresponsible with money, this and that, but he has a job where, he brings home $800 a week, $1,000 a week. But he's not good with money or nothing like that. It doesn't matter if he has 20 bucks in the bank. She is more willing to be acceptable, telling her friends, my man has this job doing this, than some guy like, actually, he's just kind of a freelancer. He's just enjoying life. He's just actually working towards things that are not visibly apparable, monetarily apparable at this day. It doesn't matter what the relationship she's built. It doesn't matter what she has seen in that person. Second, someone tells her, like, I just think you should find someone more stable, it's in their brain. And there's nothing you can do about it. because it's human nature, man. But as a guy, if you start resorting to living, getting a certain job that doesn't suit you, and you start shifting your direction in life for an individual that takes you off your path, the same thing that actually attracted her to you, she will leave you. And if she leaves you because you stuck to your path, then you know what? At the very least, you are who you said you were. And we let them off the hook. No. But you need to be stubborn, man. Without stubbornness, you really have nothing in it. And you will be ridiculed for it. You will be shamed. You will be belittled by women. You'll be belittled by other guys who want to try to peacock themselves around. And some woman will fall for it. You need to be delusional. In a world full of fear, status quo, acceptance from others is a driving force of every decision, or bigger, non-decision you make. Sticking with what your intuitive spirit and heart guides you in is what you need to live by. Yeah, look, you see it all the time. Like, I've been a believer even before I started seeing videos about it. The power of delusion makes your life happier. Because at the end of the day, you create the world you live in. I think the biggest misnomer out there, and look, obviously there's extreme circumstances. You may be trapped in certain situations and all that. But you can create whatever reality of world you want to create it. Now look, you have to fit into the confines of society to an extent, but you don't have to go by the same rules as everyone. You really don't. You have to be delusional that anytime there's a heavy failure rate at a specific cool occupation, there's a heavy failure. They love throwing statistics, right? I'll say with what I do, trading. They will say 98% of traders will lose money. Most will go bankrupt. It's a wasted endeavor. Just invest in the S&P and all that stuff, right? Which, look, it's tough, right? Trading is not as easy as it looks. It's also not as hard as it looks. Part of what I think continues creating people to feel that is they go into it assuming the odds are against them. And like anything, if you think the world is against you, guess what? You're always going to feel you're at a disadvantage. As a man in this world, when you feel you are victimized, you become immediately neutered. You become emasculated. You become exactly what you don't want to become. You have let others dictate who you are as a man. And the second you have let other men, you have let other women tell you who you are and who you need to be, that is when you might as well hang it up. Because it's very hard to build that confidence back up. It takes guys years to build themselves out of that, if they ever do. Some guys go around hating a woman because they have let a woman tear them down in their identity. A woman cheated on them, so they question their whole manhood. They question everything they're about. They question everything they have built their life on because other people told them, hey, if you make a great living, if you have this, if you're fit, if you dress well, woman will just love you and never leave you. And there's a lot of guys that find out the hard way. They will leave you for a guy that looks like me. They will. Alright? It happens. And it fucks up a lot of men. It will fuck them up. They become jaded. Then, ironically, they become so hyper insecure about what women think about them that they start doing everything to avoid being hurt. And every move they make becomes about women. And not even to acquire the type of woman they want, but to avoid a certain type of connection. And they use the woman that they actually dislike, use them for sex, and use them for whatever they're trying to get, just to have some sense of satisfaction of control in their lives. And when you start losing control of yourself, or money, woman, anything that has monetary dopamine effects on you, not to get too weird about it, you are a weak man. You are. At that point in time, you have fallen to, you have lost your identity of who you are. And I would rather be myself, put all of who I am as a person, and then them saying I just don't have it for you anymore. I'll accept that any day over trying to be something I'm not at this point in my life, to try to be what I think someone wants me to be. I'll take that any day. I am willing to not be accepted for who I am than I am to be accepted for something I don't even want to pretend to be anymore. That's the God honest truth. It's a lot of hurt people out here. But you create that reality, right? Like, you create the world you live in. No one's making you talk to anybody you don't want to. No one's making you sign up for that dating app. No one's making you go work at a job you don't really, really want to. No one's making you, believe in a system. No one has the world tied down against you like you think they do. Yeah, you know what? Everyone's in sometimes vulnerable positions where you got to do shit for a period of time that sucks. But if you have the mental discipline, if you have conviction in yourself, and you have a plan for why you're doing what you're doing, and you put legitimate timelines on what you're doing, and not just wasting time, and always being present mentally in what you're doing. Being delusional in the world you create will make you, at the very least, happy in the world you created. We're all walking around each other, but how we view me and an individual at this park. When I walk out of here holding this shit in my hand, I can sit here and wave and smile. They can wave and smile at me like you do, with old people. The world, their reality of them looking at me is going to be completely different than how I look at myself, and vice versa. That's the reality of the world we create. We're in the same park, same city, same coordinates, here for different reasons, I guess. But the connection we are seeking being here is different. I wake up every day happier than ever, and I have less than I've ever had. And I know years from now, I'm going to have more than I've ever had. And there's just a comfort I have with myself that you cannot move me off my spot. You just can't do it. And it takes a lot of, heartbreak. It takes a lot of disappointment. It takes a lot of personal failure of yourself. It takes a lot of strong reflection. It takes a lot of doing shit you didn't want to do to realize what you don't want to do anymore. And that triggers people. Because they didn't have the same path of why I'm in this spot. There's nothing anyone can do to make me feel less of myself. And that sounds pretty egotistical. But honestly, because I know who I am and what I'm about and what I care about, someone taking jabs about me, about my financial future, doesn't bother me. Because I don't place value in how much money is in my account. And a lot of people that point those things, I've probably had more money in my account at a given time than they've ever sniffed coming close to. And that's not a brag. That is just saying, oh, okay. When you know what it's like to have that, and you realize how much it doesn't really matter that much more to you because of what you're doing to get it, your perspective is different. I've had women leave me. I've had, when I was younger, I had a girl cheat on me. I've cheated on women. It's not something I'm proud of. It doesn't rationalize. But I've accepted the shitty aspects of myself. I've accepted that even bad stuff that's happened to me, what's made the situation worse was my response to it. Not my response to them, but how I dealt with it after. That was what fucked me up and put me in a bad position. Not what happened, but how I processed. And at a point in my life where I am right now, for better or worse, you become numb to a lot of shit. You become, it's a shitty thing, but there's nothing anyone can do to me. There's not a girl that could do something to me, a friend. There's nothing anyone can say that would make me completely shut down and lose my direction in life. Stuff may not feel great, for an hour or so. It never feels good to be told stuff you're not, and this, that, and the other. But when you truly have that belief in yourself and who you are as a man, none of that shit matters. You don't even get mad about it. That's the crazy part. You're just like, you know what? Hey, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. It's not being passive, it's about acceptance. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. That was this edition of the Socially Inept Thoughts channel. My name is Clint. If you found value in this, please like, please subscribe, please engage. I'm really appreciating the growth of this channel, and I really love what I'm doing here. I really believe in the value I'm bringing. I want this channel to get big. I have no problem saying I want this channel to grow and build a real community. And I'm a really raw person. I'm a joke. Well, a lot of people. I'm actually a really corny, jokey guy. But I feel like it's important to bring value to real life out here. So yeah, without further ado, hope you guys have a great day, evening. Yeah. And that's that.